Hello and welcome. I'm really pleased. Today we have Victor Richards. Victor, how are you?
I'm in very good spirits. Peace and blessings, family.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. The great writer and performer. Victor, tell us, your play, Streets Paved with Gold, has been performed for almost 30 years. What firstly inspired you to create it and what keeps it alive for you after all this time?
Yeah. Well, it's a combination of things. The list is long, but I'll just choose a few. One, I was very much inspired by those early days when growing up as a child in the early 60s, 70s. Christmas was special, the community was close, the christenings, the house parties my mom used to hold. Sundays was a special day because everybody came to mother's house. They slowly faded away.
Yeah,
Um, also, the the thought of as I got older, the thought of those days are gone. The community is changing. People don't come together no more. You see, the whole attitude is changed. It's been broken down, it's been watered down. And I suppose when I got to creative age and doing the careers and getting through to drama, I wanted to do something, and that's the hub of it. I suppose there's a whole lots of things that come out of that, but that is the real basis of keeping the legacy,
yeah,
keeping the legacy alive for the younger generation. That might.
excellent, excellent. The Windrush story is such a vital part of British history, as you're alluding to. How have audiences' reactions to your work changed over the decades, especially across different generations?
Yeah. It's changed a lot. I mean, you have to remember when I first started, 30 odd years ago, there was a much older generation that I performed to in the day centres, the churches, the Black History Month back in those days. It was vibrant and there was a lot more. It wasn't very difficult to promote an event. Nowadays, you're struggling. You get a full house. You know what I mean? So, as a younger man in those days, the laughs were louder.
Mm.
They cried, and they were happy.
The
And
energy,
the energy, yeah. But you know what I'm talking about. So that's the difference. Nowadays, I would say the audiences is getting younger,
yeah,
um, more diversified
hmm
in cultures. Not as vibrant in the same way, but in a different way.
yeah,
They're asking more questions. They're more curious. Then it was more of a nostalgic thing.
mm,
Today is more of an educational thing
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
going on now, and it's growing.
yeah. And the work that you're doing is certainly in the field that we operate in, and that's passing the baton. That's
Yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah, yes, for sure.
So you've recently transformed your one-man play into a film called Milestone, Streets Paved with Gold. What was it like translating such a deeply personal and theatrical story to the big screen?
Very challenging, very difficult. They say all ideas they start in your head just as an idea, and it could be there for years. And in this particular case, um, I remember it was 2018. That's when the Windrush scandal broke
Yeah.
the news, and I received a phone call from a dear friend who had given me my break 45 years earlier. And he said to me, young man, I think your time's up to do another play. And I said, no, what I'm going to do is do the film. And he thought, why are you not? I said, listen, to me, I don't think I can do it any better.
Yeah.
If it's not broke, why am I going to fix it? Working for so many years. And I put my thoughts ever since then into thinking how I can do this. It's a journey, as you can imagine. We're not going to go into the details of that, but to me, I probably went through over the years half a dozen different directors who said for a variety of different reasons it wouldn't work, couldn't work,
Yeah.
until immediately. But for me, the longer it went on, the more passionate it became. And when something becomes relevant, you've got to do this. I think you've got to also think, I'm not getting any younger.
That's right. It's a balance.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a horse and a cart, figure around. So yeah, I think nothing happens before it's time, they say. So yes, and as for the process, it was quite straightforward actually, because I always knew this piece, unlike the other three, Return to the Caribbean and Children's First Generation, those three one-man plays are not so well known as Street Paved with Gold, but this one is very educational, very usable, very flexible to fit into spaces, not just mainstream theatre, but schools, colleges, day centres, and it has all the spin-offs for poetry, drama, work.
Excellent.
So it was the challenge was working with a director.
Yeah.
How did they see it and how do they visualize it? And obviously the easiest thing to do is for them to come and actually see the play and then go back to the script and say, we know exactly what to do. So yeah, the transition was smooth and keeping a lot of its originality as well. And obviously making the adaptations, the changes, bringing all the characters to life that I saw. Finding the locations and so forth, finding the right people. And I suppose as a person who's always done a lot of TV work in the past over the years, bit parts, walk on background, extra, whatever, I always felt that background artists are never really appreciated.
Right. Until they're not there.
No, that's why they're not there. They're treated differently. And I never understand why. So I made none of those things were going to happen. Right. They all got it treated fairly. They're all important. We ate at the same time. And they got their credits. Why not?
Excellent. Excellent. So as someone who's both the writer and performer, how do you balance those two creative roles? And did that dynamic shift when you became a filmmaker as well? 3 roles.
Yeah, I thought. I suppose I'm trained for this. I've been preparing for this for many years, and when you are soloist, and I've taught other people to do the same thing who are now successful in their own right with one man and one woman plays. I didn't really find it that hard, especially when I've got a good team behind me.
Yeah.
My wife included, to me, I was able to focus and separate the roles. But then again, you have to remember, I've been doing this for nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's not as if I have to worry about the lines.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you adapt it to film, cinematic, you've got to make a lot of changes. And you've got to do it instantly, So that all those things came naturally, and it was funny. And I think on set, as some of us would have had that experience, it's actually fun. It's a fun time. There's lots of laughter, and it's a kind of like a chemistry thing. That makes it easier as well for everybody concerned. Shouldn't be work. It should be fun, a memorable experience. It's like a family.
Yeah.
So yes, for me, the transition from play to cinematic was smooth, and it wasn't hard work.
So looking back at your journey from modeling and choreography to acting, writing, and now film, as you've indicated, what key moments shaped your identity as an artist?
Let me think about that for a moment. Wow. It's almost like a trick question.
Of course.
And I remember many years ago, I'm just like a politician, that's how they never answer the questions. They always tell you. I remember many years ago, I was doing a BBC interview. Radio Leicester, and the gentleman read out my info. Oh, you do this, you do this, you do this. You're a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I remember talking to my dear friend Lolette Hudson, a wonderful motivational speaker. You probably might know her.
Yeah.
In London. I think she's in Jamaica now. And I went to her for advice. And she said one thing to me, and this is the answer. She said to me, people would always try to put you in different boxes and break you down. But at the end of the day, you're a storyteller.
That's right.
So whenever they move you around, you come back to a storyteller. And that's the answer.
Yeah.
You know, it's to get all those things together, I have to remember one important thing. I am a storyteller. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's the best approach.
Yes.
And particularly when it's based on the lived experience. Really important. Not what somebody said. You were there.
Yeah. Nobody can move you from that. And it took me years. I think it's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever had.
Yeah. So with the 30th anniversary of Streets Paved with Gold approaching in 2026, what's next for you and for VJ Theatre Productions? Are there any new chapters of the Windrush story you're hoping to tell us all?
Well, after our successful premiere at the Phoenix Cinema a couple of Sundays ago, red carpet and all, was an absolute sellout success. I think the chapter has already started. And with subsequent bookings, we're doing the 9th of November at Northampton Film House. And we've already got, I can tell you pre that, Mac Theatre for the 12th next year. So they're coming in. So for me, I think that chapter is already opened up, Rudy, and I see it as spending the rest of this year and next year mapping out with a team. I mean, and you must imagine my team is getting bigger.
Of course.
You included, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're pleased to be involved.
Thank you. Happy to have you on board. And for me, mapping out, getting this to the community at large. I think we've all agreed when I've spoken to all the, endorsers for this film. Desmond Jedu, June Elizabeth.
Dr. Dwayne Neal.
Yeah. Who do you say?
Dr. Dwayne Neal.
Dr. Dwayne Neal, that's it.
Reach Society.
That Reach Society. All agree that this is the community. It's not really something for film festivals as such at this stage. So to map it out, to move forward, to do that. Other than that, listening to a lot of the responses that people gave after the film premiere, a few people said you should do a follow-up, part 2. Well,
there are many parts to come. I mean, whilst you're here or we're here, the story continues.
Yes.
Until we have to pass on that baton.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that. I'll say I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying the moment right
now. Yeah, that's important. Great. So, Victor, before you go, can you tell us about Northampton Film Theatre? Where can people get tickets, etc.?
Yes. As I said before, it's at the Northampton, I'm going to get it right. The tickets are available at northamptonfilmhouse.com.
Okay.
northamptonfilmhouse.com. And that's on the 9th of November. And it's not going to be red carpet, but it's going to be film and Q&A and after party with food. So we had a great after party at the Phoenix. It was fantastic. I think people have seen it on Facebook. So we're going to have to repeat the process again. We've got a 2-hour slot. So please book your tickets. I really strongly suggest to book your tickets before you come. And we did a check this morning, and I think there's 32 tickets left.
Okay.
82. So you know, I think hopefully the voice newspaper would come along to do a review as well. So we'll see if they turn up. So yes, did you get all that information?
Thank you very much. And if people want to get in direct contact with you, how do they do that?
They go to, well, they could, if they go to my website, I think
Yeah,
the victorrichards.com.
victorrichards.com. Okay,
They can follow me on Instagram, Victor Richards 2905 as well.
great. So thank you and look forward to seeing you next week.
See you there.